History being made today in New York City. For the first time, a former U.S. president is on trial in a criminal court.
He's facing charges related to alleged hush money payments made ahead of the 2016 election.
We'll take a live look here at New York City right now where that trial is taking place. Our Hannah Brandt has the latest on this groundbreaking trial.
Donald Trump is the first former president to stand trial in a criminal case, and this is the first of his 4 criminal indictments to go to trial.
Inside a Manhattan courtroom, former President Donald Trump glared at the camera as the trial against him began.
This is an assault on America. Nothing like this has ever happened before. Trump is not above the law.
The case centers on accusations that the former president illegally falsified business records. Prosecutors say he was trying to cover up hush money payments to adult film actress Stormy Daniels.
This case is nonsense. It should never have been brought.
On Monday, the case kicked off with jury selection. The court is expected to spend days working to pick 12 jurors and 6 alternates from a group of 500 people.
Probably the hardest part for the lawyers here is weeding out, who's going to be the most fair type of juror.
New York trial attorney Arthur Aidala says Trump's notoriety makes that a challenge.
Everyone's probably going to come in here with some preconceived notions.
The former president is required to be in court 4 days a week for the trial, which complicates his schedule as he campaigns for re-election.
This is political persecution. This is a persecution like never before. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
The trial is expected to last anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. In Washington, I'm Hannah Brandt.
All right, so let's go ahead and bring in our chief legal analyst, Collie Frode. So more than 50 jurors have already been dismissed on the first day here, saying that, look, I can't be impartial here, but there's some very specific questions that lawyers on both sides are asking these jurors. What are they?
Yeah, the judge threw out this list of questions that they were going to ask last week, and so most of them are news consumptions, affiliations with some types of groups, from Proud Boys to Antifa, whether anyone is in the inner circle with Trump. Have you attended a rally? Have you attended any anti-Trump rallies? They're trying to get down to the core before the attorneys can even ask the questions. These are just the judge's questions that he's asking. And so when you talk about folks that have been excused, they've got about 500-600 folks that they have there today. I mean, thousands came in, but they got assigned to different courtrooms. 500 for there. They brought them in batches of 96. And then the judge just asks, hey, raise your hand if you can't be fair and impartial. Instantly, like 30 plus people. Originally, after that first thing got there, about 50 folks got removed. Ironically, that's about on line to half of the population supporting him in the election. So I was not surprised by that number at all. And it went to show that there are some folks that still believe they can be fair and impartial, which is the only requirement, even outside of these questions.
You're a defense attorney. You've been through this type of process here, maybe not quite like something like this. And that's the challenge, as you just saw that story, is picking the most fair possible juror there is. And how do you find that person where they're going to be able to maybe be persuaded over to your side?
Well, that's what you're looking for. And when you talk about, I've been in that room before, but no one has ever been in a situation like this. This is historic, monumental, substantial, whatever adjective you can think of. This is that all wrapped up into one day. But it counts and it helps to have multiple people there with you, because when you're asking the questions, when they finally get to that portion beyond the judge and each attorney gets to ask their questions, you need to be listening and you need to be looking. And sometimes you can't do both. Maybe you are listening and you're not looking, or maybe you're looking and you're not listening. So if you got another attorney with you, maybe they'll nudge you or slide you a note and say, hey, that guy's playing on his phone, or that person's not even listening, or when you said something they smirked, or they kind of sucked their teeth. You kind of want to catch all these things, and you can't be doing it all at the same time. So it helps. Trump has a huge team. I heard earlier today he has a jury consultant as well. So he has a number of folks that are there looking, watching, listening, ensuring that they don't miss anything. But you're trying to catch everything so that you don't miss anything. Don't let an imposter juror slide on. Someone that's pretending that, I can be fair and impartial, but really all they want to do is sit on this jury so they can go against you. You can't catch all of it if you're not looking, and you just can't be watching for all of that all at the same time. Because when they put those 18 in the box, you're looking at maybe the one person you're talking to, not all of them. During this original questioning with the judge, you can clearly be listening because you're not asking the question. So the judge is firing off these questions and you're watching. You're seeing if people are dozing off, if they're not paying attention. Because most of these people got there this morning and been waiting all day until maybe 2, almost 3 o'clock before they got actually taken into the jury room.
You talked about those imposter jurors, right, who wouldn't want to be a part of the largest, most focused on trial in the country right now. But once all of this process is is done, how long do you expect the trial itself to actually take?
I mean, both sides have said they're talking about between 6 to 8 weeks, and this jury selection process can take almost a week. But I don't anticipate that timeline being there because there's a number of things that have to happen throughout this process. There were a number of pretrial hearings that happened today. The judge decided that he couldn't, just go forward with a couple things. The video from the Access Hollywood tape wouldn't come in, but the transcript would. And so because you have these pretrial motions that are done outside the presence of the jury, even after you get the jury selected, you may not get done in 6 to 8 weeks. I think that is something that may not happen just based on the number of jurors that they have listed.
One of the things that came out about today that was a little odd to hear about, especially from all the reports, is that Trump, during the sidebars with all the attorneys, which is usually just the attorneys and the judge, Trump wanted to participate in that.
What you are scared of is that type of client, the one that wants to be overly involved in the case. A couple times in other cases, you've seen his attorneys kind of shush him or, have him like not right now. You want an engaged client. You want someone that's paying attention. I looked at a number of reports that said he was fully engaged earlier this morning, but as the day progressed, he kind of started to dodge off, and doze off. You don't want that. But you also don't want the other one that's like, okay, I'm overly engaged in the process. You've hired these attorneys to do their job. Allow them to do their job. That sidebar process has nothing to do with you because most of it is administrative things. The judge has a duty to not have a one-on-one conversation with an attorney. So he may pull both of them up to talk to both of them at the same time. But to have your client involved in that.
Why do it?
I have no idea, but I can tell you that will make for a headache because the attorney's trying to manage the jury. They're trying to manage and look for those things I talked about before, facial expression, size, sucking of teeth, all that. They don't have time to try to babysit the client in that process. They've talked about all this in the past. My hope is that now, as they continue to go forward, those things could only get worse. So today would be a great time to have a conversation with them and say, listen, if you got questions, write it down. Tell me when we get a break because when I'm in battle, I'm in the game right now. I don't have time to do this.
Right. You got to focus and pay attention to about 20 different things all at once. So very interesting to hear those inner workings of the courtroom. And this is only day one. So we're going to keep an eye on this and we'll see you back here at 5 and 6 as well. Khalif, thank you.